I'm doing it live now. All right, people. Look, I want to talk about something since I got a kind of like a better understanding of it. You hear a lot of people. I'm talking about religion, Christianity, and stuff like that. How we was taught wrong, But our people, we have from what I see now, our generation don't care anything about hearing that. They don't want no kind of history. They don't want uh, no kind of understanding. They just believe they just are like a vagabond, if I'm using the right terms. They want to walk around like they want to be lost in the soul. Some people is used to being in a bad condition, and I don't want to just talk about it. I want to go to the Bible, because I want to debunk some of the lies that a lot of the lies we live in lies. And what's so bad about it? A lot of us know we've been taught lies. Once our people wake up, they still would rather chose to go to sleep. You see what I'm saying? And we have a lot of people say so many different things. And I want to open up the scripts to Second Corinthians. I think that's 5. You know, yeah, yeah. I want to open it up to First Corinthians chapter, Second Corinthians 5. 5, no, first, no, my bad, I was wrong. First Corinthians 5. I think I'm saying it right. No, I think I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, I guess I'll just, is it First Corinthians 2? I was just reading it. Yeah, Second Corinthians 10 and uh, verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of the strongholds. We have a lot of strongholds that we was taught to believe. And the Most High says, cast down imagination and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. In other words, the Most High. And bring in unto captivity every thought to the obedience of the Most High, or Christ. That's what it says in the King James. Bring all those things captive and captivity to your thoughts unto the obedience of the Most High. So, so far, let's when it says cast down every imagination, everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High. Let's look at Mark chapter 7. Mark. Let's look at Mark. It's a book, right? Matthew, Mark. Mark 7. Let's look at Mark 6. Let's see, 6, 7. Mark 7. And Jesus, the Most High God, was speaking to the Pharisees. It says, let me read verse 1. Then came together unto him the Pharisees and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem. And when they saw some of his disciples eating bread with defiled, that is to say, with an unwashed hand, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews, except they wash their hands often, eat whole, eat not, holding the traditions of the elders. Okay, let's look at verse 6. Mark 7 and 6. And he answered and said unto them, what had Elias prophesied of you, hypocrites, as it is written, this people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. This people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Now, when it talks about the heart, it's simply talking about the mind. You know what I mean? The heart means the mind. But look what he says in verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for the doctrine the commandments of men, or laying aside the commandments of God. Ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandments of God, that ye may keep your own tradition, So when Paul says, cast down every imagination and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of the Most High, we know that America is built upon white supremacy. It is. And we was taught the doctrines and the philosophy of the so-called white man America. You know, we was calling ourselves Afro-American, then it was changed to African-American by Jesse Jackson. And Leosippius and Anaconus, he was the one of the men that raped our forefathers. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna come back later on. I'm gonna explain to y'all what spirit is, what the spirit is. A lot of people say the Holy Ghost, and they don't have no understanding what the Holy Ghost is. You know. So I'll be back.